Hi.
Hey, I mean, from the start, right? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Ira.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Carlos. Today I'm gonna present you about chemistry. The name of the trends of the lab that we did in this semester. It's called Identify an Unknown Substance. The name of my substance was AgNO3. My partners was Deming and Mark. This lab, I learned how to use the evidence to support my answers and conclusions, to make observations which impact my life and future, because I want to go to the college. In this lab, we did experiments, and the experiment one was the first we add the 5 grams of my substance to 5 milliliters of an acetic acid, and we mix it together, and this substance after reacted it be a good conductor for the electricity. In the experiment 2, we add 5 grams of my unknown substance to 10 milliliters of water, and we add 5 milliliters of my substance to the water can of each the water bag. Then add NaOH to each of the pile pans. They reacted, and this show over there, this substance. In the experiment 3, I add 3 grams of my unknown substance to 10 milliliters of unknown of water. Then I add 3 milliliters of my substance mixed with matter to each bowl. Then I add 3 milliliters of NaPO4 to each bowl. They reacted together, and it changed color to yellow. Evidence 1. In the first experiment, I wrote the data, then I used the data to answer my questions. In the first experiment, there was a physical change, and I know that my substance was a metal because it reacted with the acid. This evidence shows us that my substance reacts with acid. It becomes a good conductor. That was evidence. It supports my conclusion. Evidence 2. When I was doing my lab, I record the data, then I use the data to make observations. The observations that I made, it will help me to answer the experimental question. This evidence shows us that if I make a good observations, I will easily answer the question. Evidence 3, I tested the hypothesis. It says if I know the chemical and physical properties, then I will be able to know what my substance is. This evidence shows us that if I know the properties of my substance, I will easily know the substance. The skills. The skills that I learned in science this semester, it will help me in other classes. And history too, because I will need these skills to observation the maps and analyzing the data. These skills help me in English too. This semester will help me in English because I need more English in the college and my job. Conclusion. The chemistry will help me my life because in the future. Chemistry will help my life in the future because this unit I could really see that there's a different and big impact in my life, because if I know the properties of my substance, I will be able to know what is my substance. One concept I learned was how to write the evidence. The making observations was the second concept I learned in chemistry class. In the future, I will use this skill to help me in college or in my job. Any questions? Anyone?
Oh. What are some real world uses for your substance?
For my substance, it's actually I don't know that because it's my first experiment in this year.
But what was the name of your substance? The name?
The name, it's Silver. I'm sorry. Silver Nitrate. Yeah. Anyone else? That's it.
No, they need to ask the question.
What are chemical and physical properties of your system?
My physical properties was the color was white and it was a small pieces like a butter. The chemical properties was it react with the acid and with the acetic acid. That's it.
I also did a silver nitrate in the experiment, so I want to ask, do you think this substance is dangerous or useful in your life?
I think this substance it will it will be useful in my life in the future. I don't know, because right now I don't know what this substance really is. So that's my answer. Thank you for listening to me.
Wait, I have more question.
Alright then.
So, you said that this connects to your life because you were using English in college,
Yeah.
right? Is there any way, so that is like a skill that you learned during the lab, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way that you can connect the content that you learned in this lab? So why would it be useful to know the chemical and physical properties or the structure of a substance?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So how can you connect the things that you learned, like specifically in chemistry class? Because you have used, like English you use in every class, right?
Yeah.
So how can you use the skills that you learned specifically in chemistry class, or the content that you use specifically in chemistry class, in your life?
What I learned in chemistry class, it was the observations and the evidence that I make, and I use it now in the chemistry and in my college and job, because I thinking to be a doctor, so I will use the evidence to support my answers and make sure my answer is correct.
And then, so can you describe a little bit about like an event or events in your life that have changed your personality? And then if you can do that, then you can tell us about your personality and how that affects you as a learner. So start with the first question.
Alright. My personality changed when I came to the US because here I have a new life and a new thing to learn. So I changed to be more serious, more funny, more something. And the second question, what was it? Sorry.
So you have become, coming to the U.S., your personality has become more fun, more funny, and then how does that affect your how did that affect your learning this semester?
This is in fact my learning in two ways, like to have good friends and they help me with everything, and the second thing is to understand more and to be more focused in to listening to what they say, the teachers. That's all. That's all.
Okay, I think that is all. Thank you. Can you please take one?